Welcome to the Dork Forest. Jackie and her pals will never bore us. Shameless confessions
about our obsession
will make us laugh and smile. So let's explore the Dork Forest and dork out for a while.
Hey, it's Jackie Cation. Welcome to the Dork Forest. You know the websites, JackieCation.com, dorkforest.com, thedorkforest.com, familypetancestry.com. You're probably already there. Let's do the credits. Mike Rickberg composed and sang that song with his wife Sarah that you just heard. He's going to sing his version of the Mexican hat dance at the end of the program. Patrick Brady is going to fix this audio, and Vilmos works on JackieCation.com, the website. There are many ways to support the show. The Amazon link is one. You can use an Amazon link from JackieCation.com or dorkforest.com to go to Amazon. You order like normal, and it supports the show. There is a straight-up donation button, PayPal or Venmo, to this email address that is mine, Jackie@JackieCation.com, where you can just donate to the show if you like the show a lot. I think PayPal has figured out a way to do a monthly. If you want to go monthly, please do. Other ways to support the show if you want to is you can buy merch. There's Dork Forest t-shirts, and all the shirts are union made here in America, so they run a little big. Union Bayside, so if you want to look up their size chart. And then the other merch is my stand-up merch. On JackieCation.com, you can watch me do stand-up, you can look at my schedule, and the stand-up merch, a couple of different t-shirts, couple of different enamel pins, and all my CDs and my DVD. If you want to live stream my DVD, it's over there at comedyfilmnerds.com. They have a live streaming capability, or you can get a hard copy of the DVD on my website. Oh, there are premium episodes at Bandcamp. The dorkforest.bandcamp.com has probably 10 episodes that were done live. They cost me a couple of bucks to make, so I charge you a couple of bucks. If you've run out of regular episodes, go over to the dorkforest.bandcamp.com and get some more. Other than that, I say this, let's get into the show. Hey, it's Jackie Cation. I'm in my living room, finally, with Brian Posehn. Welcome to the program, Brian Posehn.
Thanks for having me. I've been wanting to do this for a long time.
This is the Dork Forest. This has you all over it.
I know. When I heard about it when you started it 35 years ago.
Back then, it was just a small, we just had a cart, and it was great. Yeah, so Brian Posehn, everybody. Oh, I forgot to ask. It's just at Brian Posehn on all the things?
Yeah, it's the Brian Posehn on a couple of things, like I think on
Twitter
Facebook and Twitter. Yeah, Twitter. It's definitely the.
Okay, and Instagram.
Instagram is just Brian Posehn.
There you go, and there is probably brianposehn.com.
Yes.
Okay,
that's where all the tour dates and all the.
Right. So everyone knows that Brian Posehn is a great comic. So go find him.
They do?
And, everyone. Well, all of my listeners, I think. And
well, good.
There you go. And so this will air at the end of August. You were going to be the D.C. Arlington Draft House the 12th and 14th, and Seattle at the Neptune Theater.
In September, yeah.
In September of the 20th. So September dates are the next big dates that people could find you.
Yes.
Exciting. Let us finally, and of course, everyone knows that we're going to talk about music, so I won't know anything.
Well, not necessarily. There are so many things that I'm nerdy about, but I'm glad when you suggested metal.
Heavy metal.
Yes.
Because, I think that perhaps you've discussed it too much.
Metal?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so, because there's certain specific things, like people know me, comedy fans know I'm just that metalhead guy.
Right.
Metal fans know that I've talked about a bunch of certain bands or specific bands. Like I'm known for being a proponent of the Bay Area thrash metal scene, which is what I grew up close to in the 80s. I was reading metal fanzines and in high school.
Okay.
Hearing about all these bands that were an hour away from me. I lived in Sonoma, and so I've talked about those a lot. I narrated a new documentary called "Murder in the Front Row."
Oh, that's awesome!
Which is about
those bands,
80s Bay Area thrash scene. So it's Metallica, Exodus,
Oh, those are real.
Yeah, a band called Violence. You've never heard them.
No.
Testament.
Okay.
Death Angel.
No. I've Snow Angel.
Scary metal names. Yeah.
Scary metal names.
Death Angel, they were like 15-year-old kids, and they called themselves that. And now they're 50-year-old men, and they're like, we're still called Death Angel. But
and is everybody still working? I know Metallica's still
Most
working.
of those bands are, and some have gone away and then come back. But so that's a thing that, I think most metalheads know that I'm really into. But before that, like, it was the British heavy metal, which got, and a lot of that thrash metal is influenced by this group the earlier. Yeah, but it's called New Wave of British heavy metal, which is late 70s, early 80s. So it doesn't really include Sabbath and Deep Purple.
Okay, so Black Sabbath and Deep Purple are
traditional British heavy metal. That's where it started.
They are. Okay.
Sabbath started metal.
Oh, did they?
Yes.
Now, this I did not know.
You didn't know that?
I did not know that Black Sabbath. I've heard of Black Sabbath. One of my brothers had an album. So how many albums?
They were the first ones. They were the first band to specifically go, Led Zeppelin was heavy.
Yeah.
But right around that same time, Sabbath went, hey, what if we did like music? We love horror movies. We love British horror movies.
Oh.
Hammer films and all those. Like, what if we did that, but musically? Okay. And so, like, if you listen to the first track, Black Sabbath, on Black Sabbath, it feels like you're watching a horror movie. Like, it opens, like, with rain and, like, gongs. And like,
right. So, literally, like, old-timey horror.
Not gongs. But, yeah, but it feels like feels like you're in a horror movie.
So they're essentially rock musicians.
1970 or 72. I'm bad with those years because I wasn't listening to them then.
Really sentient.
No.
Yeah, if even
I
around.
was, but I wasn't a cool enough 4-year-old to
right,
like
it turns out
right
it's
away.
real hard to get into the good ones. Connie Francis, like her a lot, just wasn't there for her in 65.
Nice. And then after that is
was Deep Purple?
Yeah, Deep Purple is considered
heavy metal as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're like 74, right?
Right, and they're different style.
What makes it heavy, man? What makes it heavy?
To me, it's it's the distortion. It's the guitars but it's all those bands. I don't know, man.
The thing that came before was what felt to be like sort of guitar rock, where you could hear everything and you could delineate between the different instruments.
Right.
And then heavy metal feels very
it's tuned differently.
Yeah.
It's more distortion.
Right.
Faster, heavier. It's
faster.
Because metal can also be really, really slow. Like there's some forms of metal that I'm not even into, where it's sounds like you're dragging like a refrigerator across a piece of concrete,
but also loud. And heavy. So I get that. I think of it as loud and sort of, and there's an attitude with it.
Right. But the stuff that I love, the British stuff that I wanted to talk about is more like Iron Maiden and UFO. And UFO really influenced the band Iron Maiden.
Okay, I've never heard of UFO. Let's do UFO first.
It's twin guitars. It's more melodic.
What's twin guitars? Is that
two guitars? So a rhythm and a lead, or sometimes two leads. Two guys playing. Like Judas Priest is really two leads, and so are the Scorpions. And but UFO was the one that, as a teenager, all the older kids were into it. Like my buddy's older brother, my buddy Tony, his older brother Mike, that drove the Camaro, had the UFO bumper sticker on it. So that was like, UFO. They've got to be fucking cool if Mike's into them, because Mike's like the coolest teenager I've ever seen. He's got a mustache.
Oh my God.
And he was totally our Sonoma Matthew McConaughey.
Right.
Mike was a badass.
That guy had
These kids threw a water balloon at Mike's car while he was driving, and it broke his windshield, and he punched like 3 kids. He chased these kids and beat them up. He's a badass. So
he's 16 and he chased like 10-year-olds.
Yeah. So if he liked UFO, I had to hear what UFO was all
That is
about.
the greatest Mike story ever. I'm really hoping Mike found some help.
Yeah.
And,
No, he's a good dude, I'm sure.
sure
it
he's
all
fine.
worked out. He probably supports Trump.
oh, fuck.
Fuck Mike.
Oh, Mike, what went wrong? We could see it coming. Yeah, so if UFO, they have twin guitars.
Yes, and then one of my all-time favorite guitar players is this guy Michael Schenker. He's the lead guitar player for UFO, and he's a German kid. You've heard the band Scorpions?
I have. I did not know it was plural. Is there a scorpion?
No, Scorpions.
Okay,
and it's not the Scorpions.
It's just scorpions.
Scorpions.
Okay.
You know them, right?
No.
Oh my God!
I know. Here's what I tell all
this
music
is fun
fans.
for me.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is you could send me.
How do you describe Scorpions? Because they're huge.
And they're British.
Yeah. No. So what? Like, did you have any heavy metal friends in the '80s or in the when you were a kid? Or like an uncle that listened to weird music?
I had the Deep Purple and the Black Sabbath were two albums that my stepmother owned.
Okay.
And then
you
in the
remember
80s,
which ones or?
The Black Sabbath, I think, was Black Sabbath.
Oh wow!
And then,
okay, cool.
but I never listened
kind
to
of
it.
Spooky cover with like witches.
Yeah,
on
yeah,
it, kind
yeah.
of,
It looked scary.
Yes.
I did not. I couldn't do it. It was all black and it had sort of a dark lighting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then and Deep Purple, I liked Jethro Tull better. She also had a Jethro Tull album. And
Jethro Tull is a hard one for heavy metal fans because Iron Maiden's covered Jethro Tull and made them heavier.
Okay.
But they have a flautist in their band.
Right, that flute. I used to think that was the name of the flautist, Jethro Tull.
Jethro Tull makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yet it
It's not
is
really
not.
a Britishy name,
No.
Jethro Tull.
It's
Jethro Tull. That sounds like more of a southern name.
because is Jethro Tull British as well?
Oh, the band? Yes.
Yeah. So is there a hit that Scorpions did that I would know?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. We can't play stuff.
Right. What I do encourage people to do is to send me a Spotify list of 8 songs that would be a great introduction.
So their biggest song is not one of my favorite songs.
Sure. Well, that's because you're a real fan. You got it on the ground
But
floor.
you would
Scorpions.
probably know. What's the one? I'm hearing the lyrics in my head, and hold on, I'm looking it up.
I think you could sing it. No.
No one wants that. Winds of Change.
Okay.
It's about the wall coming down in Germany.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh
Wow.
no! It's also.
So it was from like
Yeah,
87?
I think
Or
1990 it
90?
came out.
90?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's their biggest. Like, and it's more of a
ballad.
ballad.
I do love a heavy metal ballad, and
But they're known for more doing anthems. That's what I liked about them, and that's what a lot of Iron Maiden, but Scorpions again is a German band. So
Yeah.
anyway, when they first started, they were started by 2 German teenagers,
Okay.
Rudolf and Michael Schenker.
okay.
And then Michael Schenker only played on like 1 or 2 Scorpions records, and then he was a kid, and then left and went to England and joined UFO.
And he's your
UFO,
favorite guitar player.
one of my all-time
Right.
favorites. Yeah, and then they wound up influencing Iron Maiden, but
Okay.
they're like UFO as a kid didn't feel like a British band because do you remember Thin Lizzy? Do you know Thin Lizzy?
I've heard, I don't know.
So Thin Lizzy's an Irish band, but they wrote, it all felt like songs. It all felt like American rock,
Yeah.
and
Well, it was so weird to me when you find out that these people are British because they all have American accents when they sing the lyrics.
right.
And it's, I don't know if is that a marketing choice?
I don't know. Scorpions, if you do a deep dive, which
Yeah.
I'm sure you won't, they do sound very German.
Okay.
They're a band where you know exactly where they're from.
Right.
As soon as they open their mouths, they can't hide it. But British bands, yeah, a lot of them you wouldn't know.
Right. You don't know. And is UFO, is it mostly an American accent kind of sound?
Yeah, the singer never sounded
British.
super Britishy.
Yeah. super with that, the original English. And so so UFO they had 2 guitar players, and did they have a full band? Was there a
then but it was anthems, pretty melodic, not super heavy,
right?
Because that's the thing. I love heavy music, but I also love hooks,
right?
And songs, and simple,
and
verse, chorus,
Yeah, and so do you sing along? You like a bridge?
Yeah,
yeah. Because sometimes with some stuff, you're just listening to it, and you're like, well, there's no way to sing along, and I do like to sing along.
UFO's a band that, my wife,
yep.
Melanie. So Melanie grew up having like metalhead boyfriends, and so she wasn't afraid of me when she met me.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it all worked out for me.
That is great.
Except for when she goes, all my boyfriends liked Rush, and I'm like, all?
I'm right here.
And and I love Rush.
Do you love Rush?
Yeah, but the fact that she's saying all, like how many all?
Wait a minute, people.
But yeah.
Have you ever heard Henry Phillips' joke about? It's an old joke of his about how he was. Having sex with his girlfriend, and she said, "I like it when people do." And he goes, "People? What people?"
People. That's amazing.
Anyway,
so she was already prepared, but UFO was a band that was kind of a blind spot for her.
Okay.
She didn't really know them, and
it's always nice to introduce someone to a new band they've never heard of.
And they actually have ballads, and their ballads aren't cheesy. There's the song "Love to Love," and one of my all-time favorite live records. It's
UFO?
Yeah.
Love to Love? Is that the name of the album?
No, it's Strangers. God, Stoney's old brain. All these things I know so well, and then when I'm talking about
right. Well, like, here's...
Strangers in the Night? Yeah, UFO Live.
And
thank God Grandpa has his little device.
You got an Iron Maiden sticker on the back of your phone.
I sure do.
What Iron Maiden songs would I know?
They're
big deal.
I'm gonna get really in it. Okay, so Strangers in the Night.
Okay.
79 was
1979
double live record, UFO, and then Michael Schenker left and started his own band, and so when I was in high school. He was already out of UFO and doing the Michael Schenker group
he didn't find a new name like the Devil's Tears or anything like he didn't.
No. Why? He wanted to be the spotlight. He already kind of was in UFO, and
he wanted it to be called Michael Schenker and the Ronettes
and have everybody know.
And is he still working? He's still working, right?
Uh-huh.
What's the name of his current iteration?
Michael Schenker. Michael Schenker Group.
The Michael Schenker Group. Okay, and so
my Maiden.
Yeah. Before we go what the UFO lyrics like
pretty
they're supposed
simple.
to be anthems.
Yeah, pretty simple.
There's got to be lines that make a 14-year-old go, "Yeah, man."
With them, no. I mean, there was a song called "Doctor Doctor," which.
What is that? It sounds like it should be on Dr. Demento.
It was more, for them, it was more the attitude and the music. And then the guitar solos were insane, and that was before I heard Randy Rhoads. At that point, Eddie Van Halen and then Michael were the two best in in my preteen. Well, no,
sure,
it must have been 13, 14.
Right, but the love of the guitar riff was strong in these years, and it was Eddie Van Halen and Michael Schenker.
Yes, and then Judas Priest is another band, which at the same time, British band, but they had 2 guitar players, KK Downing and Glenn Tipton, and they both played leads. And do you know them at all?
No, but are they like? Is it like
Breaking the Law?
No, it's
breaking the law. No,
nothing. It's
nothing.
No, you know what? It's weird. Of all the one albums that I buy of every band that I get into, I don't have any heavy metal. It's very weird. I have one album of probably 30 different hip hop stars and some pop. Not enough. Like I don't own a Katy Perry album or anything, but I like ballads and weird. Because in 1979, you'll be happy to know that I was listening to Harry Chapin.
Oh man.
No one could be sadder than Harry Chapin. I mean, the thing is if you wanted to celebrate some sadness, I
can't even name one right now. What?
Cats in the Cradle.
Oh, okay, that's him. Yeah.
Taxi. The taxi driver one.
I don't know that one.
It's the one about the woman who hits on the taxi driver, and he's like, nah. And she tips him $20 and he keeps the tip. And it's a story, and it's a ballad. I look back at it and cringe a little bit because you're like, this isn't the greatest song you've ever.
Well, I mean, I'm super guilty of that. A lot of heavy metal is pretty dumb.
So you look back at it.
And the worst is probably where I started, Kiss.
Oh, okay. Were you a member of the Kiss Army?
Yes.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
It's now the Kiss. I babysat for a kid that was
discharged as a teenager.
Well, as long as
I still support them.
Right, you'll get your pension.
I'll fly the flag on Veterans Day.
I babysat for a kid her older brother was a big Kiss fan, and he's in a band called Beatallica, which is a Beatles-Metallica mashup.
I know exactly who they are.
He's the lead singer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
His nickname's Tinker.
I didn't know are they still performing?
They are, mostly in Europe.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
He is also in an Irish folk band. Like, he's in 3 different bands, and he's a great guitarist. And he sounds exactly like that guy who's the lead singer of Metallica.
Oh, like James Hetfield.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he sounds like that. And my favorite headshot of theirs was the 4 of them dressed as you remember the Beatles album where they're in uniform?
Oh, Sgt. Pepper?
Sgt. Pepper. Yeah. They were wearing that, but all their uniforms are trashed because they're Beatallica. It's a Beatles-Metallica mashup.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
So
Kiss, the Kings of Bad Lyrics. And UFO, back to them, they were a little smarter than...
Okay.
But if I'm trying to think of like what hooked me in, it really was it's really the songwriting and not so much the lyrics, if that makes sense. You know,
it was the music rather than the words.
Yeah, and like because the songs I remember, you're singing along to a song called Rock Bottom.
Yeah,
there's Lights Out in London, which it's about, I guess, lights going out in London.
No, it's got to be about the Blitzkrieg.
And then when they play live, they say on the Strangers in the Night record, because they're in Chicago, they're like, lights out, Chicago.
Oh, well, they're not.
And fucking Chicago loses their mind.
That's because that band knows what they're doing.
They
know
knew what they were doing. Yeah,
that's awesome.
They were playing huge arenas then. And
that's so great. UFO was playing huge arenas.
At the end of the 70s.
Yeah.
But, it's the harder music at that time was mostly American. It was Boston and Ted Nugent.
Okay.
Bands like that, but then, these other British bands, UFO.
And they were
Judas
playing
Priest was breaking in the
like
late
baseball
70s
stadiums,
too.
right? Like giant stadiums,
pretty big,
full of. I accidentally
in the Bay. It was a place called the Cow Palace. That's where all the big bands. I went to. Eventually, I went to see Van Halen and all those bands and Rush.
Have you seen a lot of bands live?
A million.
A million bands. Have you seen UFO live?
Yes.
Okay. Where did you?
Pretty much the only band I never saw that I was into. I didn't get to see original Kiss. I saw reunions later. But when I was as a kid, and then Ozzy Osbourne with Randy Rhoads, didn't get to see, but I was super into.
Right.
My mom just wasn't. I wasn't driving yet, and she also didn't trust me to get in a friend's car and drive an hour and a half away to these places. And Zeppelin. Zeppelin is the big one that I wish I could have. Because I was into, but
right.
The drummer died while I was in junior high. So.
Okay.
Those are the big regrets. But everybody else that I was into,
everybody
I've
else.
Seen. Yeah.
Have you ever seen REO Speedwagon?
Yeah, but they weren't somebody I was
At
into.
all.
But they would play these Day on the Greens in San Francisco, where it would just be like 8 bands in one day. Yeah,
you end up seeing bands that you're not really.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been to a concert like that where you ended up being a fan of a band that you did not know that you would have been a fan of?
That somebody won me over?
Yeah, kind of a live show that.
I'm trying to think.
Or even just.
Oh, yeah. Well, I went to, and it's in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
But I went to Oasis and the Black Crowes.
Oh, wow.
As a fan of neither. And I wound up liking both of them a lot more than I previously did.
Yeah.
So that's one where I was like, those guys are all very good musicians.
They really are. I mean, that is kind of the trip when you see live music and you're like, oh, you've been working on this for a while.
Yeah. Oh, this is your thing. Yeah, you're pretty good.
That's not
Just keep doing that.
You're not just noodling around right there with the
really
guitar.
seem to like you.
and look at all these people.
Yeah.
So, what was like any one of, I'm sure many of favorite concerts that you've seen? Like, were there concerts you saw that kind of blew your mind?
Yeah, there's a few still that stick out. Henry Rollins, UFO, we were talking about UFO, but Pearl Jam.
Okay.
Is still one of the craziest things I've ever seen live. When they first started, just the energy.
Oh wow!
And just Eddie Vedder was swinging around this club, and we all thought he was going to die, falling from the ceiling. And
he was literally swinging.
Yeah, and security's like following him underneath him to catch him, and it was crazy. And then this show I saw in the Bay, you heard the Bad Brains ever?
Nope.
I love you.
There's not a band that I have heard of. Almost.
Wow,
it's too bad. The Bad Brains,
legendary Bad Brains.
Okay,
punk rock.
Oh, okay.
DC.
DC punk.
Yeah.
Okay. And
4 pissed off black guys.
Just bringing it.
And then the 80s, they crossed over and played some reggae stuff, and then would also play metal, kind of punk metal mixed.
Right.
And still one of the craziest shows I ever saw was a band called Leeway and the Bad Brains together. Leeway was a New York punk band, or New York punk metal band, crossover band. Crossover just means combining.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Have you heard of that?
That I've heard of. That I've heard where it's kind of a mashup. I saw Ice-T with a heavy metal...
his Body Count?
Yeah.
His metal band,
Yeah, I saw that at the, like a Lollapalooza with Jane's Addiction.
Yes.
So
you're familiar with modern music.
I have accidentally seen some modern music. Let me tell you something. I did not enjoy Ice-T with Body Count.
That's all right.
That'll happen.
I'm not a huge fan of that.
But that's because it was not what I expected it to be. And it also rained.
Oh, okay.
So
rain ruins everything.
So my social skills are not good enough to be in a crowd with a bunch of muddy humans. And,
I get it.
Some people, they live for that moment.
I love concerts, but I hate... I also hate it.
Because of the proximity of humanity?
Yeah. And then being part vampire like me, if I go to like an all-day concert out in the sun,
right?
I have to hydrate constantly, and stay in the shade and try not to catch on fire.
Right. Well, you are enormously pale.
Yeah.
And then you're huge, so you need a lot.
Irish and Viking
that needs almost gallons of water. I should imagine.
Yes.
Do you wear a hat? I say hopefully.
Oh yeah, a lot of hats.
A lot of hat. Brian Posehn, you guys, a lot of hat.
I wear a lot of hat.
Look for the floppy hat. I think I've seen pictures of you in a floppy hat.
Yeah, I love a bucket hat.
Right, more than a baseball.
Oh, much more. I cover the whole face with the bucket hat.
Right. So, is it really the energy? Like, because the thing is when you watch somebody play the guitar or any instrument, and it can be fascinating.
Oh, yeah, it is.
My ad. I'm about to do an ad. Rangers, this is an ad for nativedeodorant.com. I have used a lot of deodorants, and I usually avoid ones that have aluminum in them because it may be linked to breast cancer and other illnesses. So I have tried this Native deodorant. And Native deodorant, which one did I get? I got lavender and rose. That's right, because lavender is supposed to be calming, and God knows I need it. But it works, and I love it. Native is formulated without aluminum, parabens, and talc. It's filled with ingredients found in nature, such as, actually the most popular one I think is coconut oil. The coconut and vanilla is their most popular scent. Lavender and rose is the one that I picked. Native comes in a wide variety of enticing scents for men and women. Plus, they release limited edition seasonal scents throughout the year. So if you go to nativedeodorant.com and use the code DORK, you'll get 20% off your first purchase. They also offer free returns and exchanges in the USA, just so you know. And if you subscribe like if you use deodorant regularly, often, a lot, you can do a subscription. You save $2 per stick and have Native delivered right to your door every 1, 2, 3, or 4 months. So it depends how often you use it. Anyway, so go to nativedeodorant.com, use the promo code DORK during checkout, and get 20% off your first purchase. Let's get back into the show.
So I'm currently turning my son on to Iron Maiden, and we're going to see...
Is that a good start? Is that a good start? Because he's like 9, right? 8 or 9?
He's 10.
He's 10.
So what I did is I made him... I didn't want to be one of those dads that I see on YouTube where it's a 2-year-old, banging their head to the most intense metal shit, Right. I didn't want to be playing death metal to my 2-year-old, and so I didn't.
And so
I
you've waited.
saved that stuff when I was alone.
Yeah.
All the other music I was into, so I played.
That's actually that's good because
I grounded him. First, I played baby versions of bands.
Okay.
You would get these I would get Beatles songs, but it was all when he was real little,
there were covers
tiny.
of them.
Yeah. And it's basically just keyboards, And,
okay.
And so we started with that, the Ramones, Pixies, all this stuff.
Wait, are you talking about actual baby versions of them? Like
Yeah.
literally single piano versions
and it's
of
really
pop?
And they make it palatable to a baby's ears.
And you're like, I need you to know this song.
Yeah.
So that when you're 10 years old,
exactly.
you will recognize this song from when you were...
Melanie and I played that shit nonstop when
genius.
he was tiny.
And I love that you weren't a snob about it. You're just like, this is kind of
I still because it's the Pixies. It's still a Pixie song. You're listening to it, and you're just like, oh, that's that.
Right.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been music
This monkey's
so much.
gone to heaven,
just,
but yeah.
Is it just stripped down?
It's just stripped down, and it's not like Muzak. No,
right.
no.
Oh, that's awesome.
And there's a million bands have done it. I think we even had a Metallica one,
Right.
But then when he was younger, we played the Beatles a lot, and then AC/DC, Ramones, The Clash.
Oh, that's...
just rock, really.
Full on any Iron Maiden?
No, not really. No.
Okay.
So nothing really heavy other than Sabbath. He's heard Sabbath since he was little.
Okay.
And he knows Ozzy Osbourne since he was little. He would sing Crazy Train. You at least know Crazy Train, right?
No, I don't know Crazy Train. I mean, I might if I heard it, but it's
commercials, Jackie.
Well, then I definitely haven't because I have to tell you how much I avoid a commercial. Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne.
Ozzy Osbourne. So you know who Ozzy Osbourne is?
Yes, he's married to that woman
for
who.
Black Sabbath.
Was
Sharon Osbourne.
Yeah. See, I did not know he was the singer for Black Sabbath. Okay, that's okay.
So Black Sabbath.
And Black Sabbath started it all.
Yeah, Black Sabbath is Ozzy Osbourne, the singer.
Yeah.
Tony Iommi, the guitar player. Bill Ward, the drummer, and Geezer Butler,
the greatest name in the world.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
Yeah. Geezer.
I think he owns a bar called Geezer's Place, which God bless him. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no reason to leave. That's leaving money on the table, not naming everything geezers.
Right?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so, you'll be happy to know. I'm making a list of things to listen to when so I'm going to listen to "The Winds of Change" by the UFO.
See, that's Scorpions.
Scorpions, sorry.
But that's not my favorite.
Germans.
Yeah, that's not my favorite Scorpion song, but that's their most famous. And I'm sure when you hear it, you'll go, ah, yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Go a little deeper, though.
What's your favorite Scorpion song? Offhand.
Their albums are earlier, so I like this. In Trance is a little weird. Don't do that.
Don't go there. In Trance?
Yeah. Okay. Super German and
sure.
Psychedelic late 70s. But Love Drive and Animal Magnetism are like the two nerdy
ones that you like.
Scorpions records.
Offhand.
Yeah.
Oh, the whole album.
Those are two records. Yeah.
So just pick something off of there and kind of listen around. And then Love to Love by the UFO.
Yeah.
Bad Brains by
Love to
a band.
Love's like their ballad, UFO's ballad.
That's a ballad, which I love.
But it's really good.
I love, remember?
It's not just a ballad, though. It's epic. And
then,
Yeah, then there's a ton of guitar at the end of it.
Oh, that's cool. It's Bad Brains is the name of the DC punk band, right?
Yeah.
So I was just going to look them up. And then Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah, Bad Brains, some people like their punk stuff more.
A nice.
I was just gonna say Rick
know?
Ocasek from the Cars produced them, but do you even know?
Yeah, I know who that is. Okay, because there were videos
Cars
when
are the
I was
things that people drive in,
right,
and they're also a rock
and
band.
MTV was a thing in 1984 when I went to college, and it was on the television all the time.
Yeah.
So Rick Ocasek produced it.
The Bad Brains.
The Bad Brains. Okay,
their
so
first record.
Okay, so I'll look for that.
Yeah.
All right. So the baby versions of all of these songs come in.
And then we played, these other bands that I was into, and then in the last couple of years, just whenever, he hears all this stuff, but he's gotten into Metallica through that, but I still wasn't playing it all the time. And I kind of would pick the moment, and I go, hey man, check this out,
Yeah.
And I've done that with a few bands, and he's really into Queen.
Okay.
And he loves Kiss.
Queen's fun, and Kiss is really fun.
He loves Kiss. He loves Metallica. And then this week, I've been pushing Maiden because Iron Maiden is playing. They're touring right now.
Oh, wow.
And Mel and I are like these older bands. You never know. Like, we went to see Tom Petty.
Yeah.
And then the week later, he died. And we're like, what if we didn't go to that?
Right.
Because we missed Merle Haggard when he came to town. Sabbath was touring, and so we picked Sabbath because we thought he was going to die first. And then Haggard died, and then
Merle Haggard died.
Yeah, well, we had tickets for both, and then Ozzy actually had to move the date around, so the Sabbath got moved, and then we had to choose. We had tickets for Haggard in. We're like, Haggard will be around. Nope.
That guy just fell
Sabbath
over. Sabbath continues.
But anyway, so that's why we're Maiden. They're all 60-year-old British gentlemen, and so we're gonna go up to Portland because I'm on the road when they're here.
Oh, so fair enough.
Making a full thing of it, and so as I was preparing for this, I've been turning my kid on to him, and they're like. I hesitate to do like a top 5 of my all time.
How many albums do they have?
They have a ton
because they've been going nonstop. They never broke up.
Since 1980, yeah. And in the early years, they had a record every year in the first 6 or 8 years of their existence.
Really? And how are those albums?
They're all amazing. I love all of them.
They're all great, and they're all an hour, 45 minutes, 30, 45 minutes.
And then they were touring too. What? I don't even know how they did it. Like.
That's so
much
content.
A lot of bands did that in the 70s. Like Van Halen is...
Another?
You've heard of Van Halen?
Yes,
right?
I've heard of Van Halen. And Jump?
They're local boys.
Are they from Los Angeles?
Yeah, Pasadena, right over there, right?
Luther Burbank. Yeah. It's Glendale. And
but Van Halen was like an album a year for a while, too.
Okay.
Yeah, and then touring.
So these first 6 albums, so they have at least a dozen albums.
So, yeah. So for me, Maiden. So in 1980,
and that's what you call them. You call them Maiden. You don't call them Iron.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So I'm pretty much, if I had to do top 5, it's Rush, Maiden, Metallica, Beastie Boys.
Okay, are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then maybe Pixies.
Maybe the Pixies.
Or maybe something more traditional like Sabbath. But those are the bands that I've listened to the most for the longest and the most intensely.
Right.
And
those 5 bands probably have 100 albums between them?
Well, yeah, but they do.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all pretty prolific, all those bands.
Right. They've got to at least have the Pixies, I know, have didn't they break up and then get back together or something?
Yeah, they've got 3, I would say, perfect records, and then the rest are
just fine.
Also okay. But they're the least prolific, I think, of the bands I mentioned. And the Beastie Boys only have.
And the Beastie Boys are I thought they were hip hop.
They are.
Okay. But
I also love hip hop.
Right.
I could do this.
You're a whole person.
I could do this with you. Because I worked at a record store. I was the hip hop guy when I had long hair and had a heavy metal jacket. And
No one should be surprised to find out that you worked at a record store.
And I had hair past my
in the Bay Area,
past my chichis. Sacramento.
Sacramento, a town with the creepiest name of a part of town ever. Old Sac.
Yes.
You shouldn't.
Yeah, it's gross.
You should never.
It's a bummer.
It's all kite stores and fudge.
Yeah,
anyway,
it is.
so
Big cookies.
A lot of there's
you
a big
ass cookie if you go to Old Sac.
Right. Bring 2 friends, and so not a bookstore to be found, sadly.
Right.
And but so Iron Maiden is
So let's get into it. So this is how it happened to me, and I had just written about this last year in my book, in Forever Nerdy, because I talked about a couple of bands. I delved really into Metallica and Rush.
Okay.
But Maiden for me, so I'm aware of all these other bands, and so the new wave of British heavy metal is, I guess it would start 78, 79, and then and it includes Maiden, a band called Raven, band called Saxon, who were big, and so this is after Sabbath and Judas Priest and all that.
Okay.
So these are bands that were influenced by those bands, and they started to get heavier, and Iron Maiden's more influenced by UFO, who we were already talking about. So they took the twin guitar thing and went even faster and more, I'm not a musician, so I can't really describe it, but it's more technical. Well, definitely more technical.
Okay.
Would be a good way to describe it. And so that all came around that time, and it was an answer to punk, because punk was so huge in the UK.
Right. I was going to ask.
All these metal bands were like, fuck that stuff, and they were playing in these other parts of Britain.
Right.
But these other towns like Birmingham and these other towns.
Right, but punk seems pretty heavy too.
It was, and then Maiden's actually influenced by punk a little.
Right.
So Maiden takes UFO, and then it takes classical music, and then it also takes their singer. Their original singer was kind of a punk guy. He had short hair. Everybody else in the band had long hair.
Yeah.
And this guy, Paul Di'Anno.
Okay.
Their singer on the first 2 records. Iron Maiden is self-titled, the first record.
Okay.
And then the second record is Killers.
Okay.
And it's also the introduction of the first record of this guy. You've at least seen this guy, right?
I've seen the font. How about
You've seen the font. And have you seen the skeleton long-haired guy?
Yes.
That's Eddie.
This belongs
That's
on a
their
mirror.
mascot. Yes,
or
that
you get at a fair.
A banner.
Possibly.
I had a banner on my ceiling. Oh yes, I most definitely. Ceiling. Oh yeah, I had some Iron Maiden banners in high school, and
all right.
So that's the first thing I saw.
Yeah.
When I'm already into heavy music, and I want music to get faster and heavier, and it is. I'm into this music that's changing at this time.
Right, you're
I'm into heavy metal, and it's getting faster. Like bands like Judas Priest were even getting heavier, and as each record went, they were changing their style. And Scorpions got heavier too.
Yeah.
Not British, but I'm saying all the other stuff that I'm listening to before Iron Maiden.
Right.
And then I missed the first record because it came out so fast, and the second record was out immediately after. So it's 1980 is the first record. Second record is Killers, 81.
Oh, God.
And I saw a kid that I didn't really like.
Yeah.
Had it on cassette. He must not have had it on cassette. He must have had it big enough to where I could see.
Yeah.
And I saw the cover and went, "What's that?" And he's like, "Yeah, they're Iron Maiden. You wouldn't like them, And I was like, well, he was kind of a dick. And then I go home and I'm like, we gotta find this.
He doesn't know me.
Yeah, we gotta find this.
Yeah.
Larry, what's his name? Larry.
Yeah.
I know his last name.
Oh, you know his last name.
You. But anyway,
you've already outed Mike.
Fucking Larry.
It's okay. Fucking Larry.
Well, Mike was a good dude. Fucking Larry. He didn't want me to like Iron Maiden like he did.
Exactly. He tried to sabotage
But then later he and I bonded over Rush.
Oh, of course.
Anyway, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, Larry. So Larry, I come home and I'm like, I got to find this. And this is all the bands that I got into started this way, of me coming home and going, Mom, like, we got to go to the mall. I swear, every band that I was into, Kiss came from me hearing about it at school.
Right.
Fourth grade? Yeah, fourth or fifth grade, and then coming back and saying, I saw this 45 at school. It's this band called Kiss. We got to find them.
Oh, that's
awesome.
awesome.
And then I went to the record store and saw their faces and went, holy shit. So Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
We got to get this. We got to get this record. So I go and I get Killers.
Okay.
And I fall in love. Like, I've never heard anything like it at that point.
Okay.
It's heavy, but it's also melodic, and it's hooky.
And it's fast.
Yeah, and it's fast. And then all the songs are about crazy shit.
Right.
About murdering. And there's a song called Murders in the Rue Morgue. There's a song called 22 Acacia Avenue. Oh, no, that's on Number of the Beast, the third record. But... so on the first two records, so then I go back in and get Iron Maiden 1.
Right.
And I'm into this band. And then they lose their singer. Oh, no.
What happened to him?
My teenage years, I'm like, what's going to happen?
What's going to happen to the band?
Iron Maiden.
You don't care about his family. You don't care about anything.
Yeah,
well,
it's
you're
right
14.
around then. Ozzy's guitar player, Randy Rhoads, who I named my kid after.
Oh, my God.
Rhoads.
Yeah.
He dies.
Right.
And then Maiden loses their singer, Paul Di'Anno, and I'm like, what's going on?
Right.
And then they get this guy who I've never heard of, but he was in another band, and British band, and I'm like, I'm reading the magazines.
Yeah.
Because, I'm invested.
You're invested
like,
in the magazines.
Yeah, I hope Maiden doesn't turn to shit.
Right.
They were so good. And I listened to them on my paper out on cassette, and and then they get better.
They somehow get better?
They get better because they get the singer, Bruce Dickinson, who is, in my opinion, one of the best metal singers of all time because he's operatic.
And this is the third album now.
Yeah, third album, Number of the Beast.
Okay. And 22 Acacia is on this, correct?
Yes.
All right.
And it's about the residence where a prostitute lives.
All right.
22 Acacia Avenue.
You got to live,
It's basically, it's the heavy metal version of Roxanne.
Oh, okay.
It's almost, it's not word for word, but it's the same theme.
Right. Red light
Roxanne,
district.
He's telling Roxanne to
Sting?
turn the red light off. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever. But Maiden's basically like Charlotte. Charlotte's her name. She was in her first song called Charlotte the Harlot.
Okay.
On the first record.
Yep. And she's still working.
Yeah,
turns
by
out.
the third record,
album?
she's still,
Yeah, she's still...
And the band kind of admits in the lyrics that they've gone to Charlotte, but then they're also telling her to quit. But it's good shit. So what got me into them was also the storytelling. So UFO, the lyrics weren't that deep.
Yeah.
But I still like them and still love them and liked them at that time. But but Iron Maiden, so now I'm reading a lot as a teenager.
Reading lyrics.
And I'm reading.
Oh, you're reading books.
I was a well-read kid.
Right.
So then to find bands that are also well-read.
Yep.
And they loved writing songs about history and all these wars. Like that's, as you get into Iron Maiden, there's a song called Flight of Icarus, where they tell the story of Icarus. There's a song called Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, where they do a 12-minute version of the Ancient Mariner, and it's this epic song where they've got like boat sounds in the middle where they kill the bird and then the bird's cursed or whatever. Now there's not a drop to drink, that whole thing. Mm-hmm. Big metal epic. They play that shit live. It's huge. And,
that's awesome. That got like more 14-year-olds into Greek and Roman mythology than anything. It
absolutely did. And then they did a record when I was a senior called Power Slave, which is Egyptian themed. And, that got me into all this other stuff.
Yeah. You're like, what? Who did make this pyramids?
Yeah.
And so that's Iron Maiden.
Yeah, and then they were my favorite band through the 80s.
Right.
And then as I got older, I started to get more into thrash metal and these other stuff, but I still love them.
Right. So what makes...
But in high school...
Yeah.
I'm drawing this shit everywhere.
Right.
Like, I'm obsessed. I'm drawing the logo on everything I own.
On the desks?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're a desk drawer?
I'm drawing Eddie on everything. I'm sitting with my friends talking. All I remember about, like, Spanish class in my junior year is drawing Eddie and talking about how Halloween 3 might be weird because Michael Myers isn't in it. Like those are my real memories of that
grade?
year.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I was taught.
Right.
But those are the things that stuck.
8th grade science class. All I can draw is Snoopy, because that's all I did was draw Snoopy over and over and over again. And that is one of the reasons why I'm not particularly good at biology.
No.
Okay.
Spanish didn't stick either because I was drawing Eddie. I was just drawing a skeleton face with that white hair over and over and over.
Just that thing.
all the time.
I did like sitting at the desks where the kid who was a drawer would sit, and then I would add a tiny Snoopy to it, and
Nice.
and then the teacher would be like, "You guys have to stop drawing on the desks," but she would always leave the ones that looked really cool,
right? Which
made her a good teacher, right? She's like, hey, I'm going to erase this because you got to work.
Got some talent. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm going to erase the ones where they don't have the where I'm going to need you to do something on the paper and then bring it to the desk later. So so what's the difference between heavy metal and thrash metal?
Oh boy, I so wish we could play stuff. Because I'm sure listeners are like, tell her.
Listeners are yelling, tell her, and they will.
So
they will all email me.
Thrash still has some melody, some of it, but it also got faster, and then thrash took in punk influences too, especially. So thrash really came from Metallica being influenced by some of these bands that I was already talking about, the new wave of British heavy metal. So at the same time as Iron Maiden's third record,
right.
Metallica's doing their first and second record. And they just come from out of nowhere musically. I mean, it was so different from all these other stuff, but it was them responding to their influences.
So if I listen to a song from Iron Maiden's third album, and then I listen to Metallica's first album,
Kill 'Em All,
I'll hear the difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it's so
aggressive, more aggressive,
even more aggressive than Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden is aggressive, but also,
I mean, lyrical kind of from the lyrics sounding
melodic, and there's another way of describing them. With the singer, the fact that the singer is more operatic than what James Hetfield's known for is kind of his own thing.
It's very scratchy, very scratchy. Mm-hmm. And what about Rush? When did they start playing?
What was their first record? So
are they
Rush?
From
no, they're Canadian.
And they're Canadian and from
the 70s.
From the 70s.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then 80s was my big Rush time because my favorite record of theirs is a one called Signals, which must have been 82, 83, and that was when girls were mean and other guys weren't so nice, and I would go home and I would be sad, and then Rush would make me not sad. Because they were writing lyrics. They wrote a song called Subdivisions that is it's about
eviscerating the status quo.
No, it's about you might really like Rush.
Oh yeah,
Rush is for smart people.
Okay,
Rush is not a dumb band. Right. Some of the bands I like, Kiss, Van Halen,
and I am not as smart as you think I am. I will like some dumb.
I think you're very smart, and I think you might like Rush.
Okay,
seek out Subdivisions at least. So Subdivisions, a lot of Rush fans like the heavier, when the more guitar, the more psychedelic, the more prog. Mm-hmm. Rush has been a lot of things.
Oh, really?
Over the years, yeah, they've always changed and always progressed, and I mean,
yeah, that's kind of cool. Because
one of the most famous progressive rock bands, and they literally have always progressed. They've always and they've taken in the other influences. Like when the Police came out, they were influenced by the Police, and would try different, got more into keyboards and other rhythms. And Subdivisions is a song about being a teenager, living in suburbia, and knowing that you don't fit in, but being okay with it.
Okay.
Is kind of the takeaway for me.
Yeah.
As opposed to
that's cool
going to your school with a duster and
there's
and your
no
grandpa's weapon and doing something bad.
Yeah. There's
they weren't telling you to do that.
No. They had other coping mechanisms that they would recommend.
They're like, read a book, buddy.
Read a book.
Climb a tree. And And ignore those kids.
I remember telling one of my nephews, he was, I think, 13 or 14, and he was in it. He was depressed. And I was like, dude, I know 4 years sounds like a lot, but it's going to go by, and it's going to be okay, I promise. And he was like, yeah? And I was like, yeah, I swear to God. Anything I can do to try to help, let me know. But it's a slog, and you're fucked because you're a child.
I think, I already think about what I'm going to do when my kid goes through it. But I already know what to say to him. Is like, dude, you should try public school.
Right, it's brutal.
Dude, public school's way worse.
Plus, I think you've raised him with a fair number of distractions.
Oh,
right? And
yeah,
I mean, you can. And what I did
He's
as a child.
He's a tiny me. You've met him.
Yeah, I've met him. That kid's hiding in a book. He's like, oh, this isn't going well. Want me to go find a comic book or a chapter book, or I'm going to go put this cape on.
Right, yes, right? Absolutely. That's him.
So, like, do it, man.
Yeah.
Do whatever you got to do to make it through these hard times. Mm-hmm. And just try not to hurt anybody and yourself. So, yeah, it's... Because didn't they give heavy metal kind of a bad rap and say that it encouraged, like, Dungeons and Dragons? It
always has, yeah, exactly like D&D. And I liked...
D&D.
Well, yeah. And at the same time...
we should tell people, I've done Nerd Poker. Mm-hmm. Everybody, Brian Posehn, by the way, it's at Brian Posehn everywhere you want to go, and you'll find him, and go to DC or Seattle in September and go see him.
Yes, please.
But Nerd Poker is all over, like, there's got to be 100 episodes, right?
Yeah, we've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
I was at Earwolf for years, and then stopped down for 2 years, and then restarted, and it's in my house now.
Now it's just around your dining room table.
Yes.
With your friends.
Where D&D should be played instead of in an office somewhere.
Yeah, that's weird. With the lighting is much better.
Yeah.
And Dan Telfer's your GM, and
yes.
And then you guys just run.
Yeah, and you got to come back because we've been doing a new thing for bonus episodes because we're on Patreon. And if people follow us on Patreon, we do 3 bonus episodes a month now. Where we'll
3?
Well, yeah. So we do one that's all strictly Q&A.
Okay.
Where they'll, ask us questions about the current campaign or other things.
Right. Is it live streaming?
No. But,
okay.
But
you just
we're
take
looking at doing
questions
that. Yeah, we're looking at doing stuff like that.
Wow.
But the other 2, we just did one where we played The Thing. You know the game, the movie The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing?
Yeah.
There's a new game where you play the Thing, and one of you is the Thing, and then you infect other people.
Sure you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
all right. Like Werewolf or...
Yeah, we played that. We did 2 hours of that.
Oh, that's kind of hilarious.
Super fun.
Yeah. The 2 that I've done, and I've just brought a character, and then we just ran a character thing. And
Danger Room, yeah.
Yeah, that was super fun.
Those are fun to do. Mm-hmm. Dan's a great DM.
Yeah, he does a nice... There's always something to do.
Yeah.
And that's all you need to do as a dungeon master, game master, to make sure everybody has something to do.
To rope your friends in and get them to shut the fuck up, because me and Blaine Capatch and Ken Daly can get off on little tangents, and Chris Tallman and Sarah, as you know, she's plays the game. And, and is on track.
They just want to play the game.
But the guys we're all out of control.
Right. Blaine will riff
I'm easily distracted. I hear my dog in the other room. I'm, bro, what are you doing?
There's a dust moat.
Yeah.
What is that, squirrel? And so, but Nerd Poker, super fun. And I think I interrupted you about to go into more thrash metal, though. We're at like 55.
We are. Oh, sure.
Yeah, so we can just talk about the future of it.
Let's talk about Iron Maiden, about how they're still big. So other things that you might not know about Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
There's a documentary. Is it called Flight of 666? So Bruce Dickinson, the guy I'm telling you about.
Right.
Amazing singer, right? So he's the guy who's, I'm worried that they're done forever. He comes in, changes them. They're even better.
Wow.
And then they become huge. They're one of the biggest bands, and they still...
they fill stadiums.
Yeah, so South America, Europe, they're massive.
Yeah.
So them and Metallica, those are the 2 biggest
that have lasted.
hard rock bands.
Yeah.
And they still sell out everywhere and do these massive tours. And Bruce Dickinson flies the plane.
What?
He is a pilot.
Wait, the singer?
Yes, and he flies like a 747 or a 767, one of the bigger ones.
That sounds like ice fishing. That's like, I don't want to hang out with you guys. I'm going to learn how to pilot. And no? Is it not that? He just wanted to be the one?
He's that guy.
Yeah.
So when I was a teenager, he was also known, and he would use it on stage.
Yeah.
He was super into fencing, and he was super into soccer.
Okay.
And he's just this athletic,
He's
hairy dude.
Right.
Who's got this voice
Like an angel.
of an angel. And he's super masculine, and he's a great lead singer. He's like great frontman.
Yeah.
One of the best.
Okay.
That's the thing. Like, they play arenas.
Yeah.
And you can feel it from the front to the back. Like, it's in South America, people sing along to the guitar parts. Like, people are obsessed
Like
with
La
this
La
band.
La?
Yeah.
Wow.
They don't just sing the lyrics, they sing the whole fucking song. Like, people are obsessed with this band, is what I'm telling you.
Yeah, they are. That's huge.
I'm one of them.
You are one of them for sure.
Yes.
You're really nailing it, by the way. Because it's hard to describe music.
I was worried about that because
Right.
I can talk about film and comic books and and everything
Right.
else, but and it's also, as I'm driving over here, I didn't know how much you knew about any of these bands.
Well.
So I loved it.
You'll be happy to know almost nothing, but to some extent it can't. Sometimes it helps that I don't know, because then we can start very early, and other people who don't know can hear the.
And so their live show also is Alice Cooper at least,
Right.
And Rob Zombie.
I've heard of him. Yeah.
Okay, so Rob Zombie is theatrical and but Alice Cooper, I think, pretty much started.
Okay.
Well, one of the.
Right.
You can go way deeper, and there's probably somebody.
That's their whole thing. Yes.
There's a British guy, I can't even think of the guy's name now, who did that first.
Okay.
But
Puddles the Clown.
there's somebody who wants to murder me listening to this.
No. They're just like, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah. But that theatrical thing, and then Kiss did theatrical. Maiden,
Yeah.
they have a mascot, the Eddie guy.
Oh, they do.
He's not just drawn on my phone here.
Yes.
He'll come out. And so they'll have a guy like my
Oh, they have
size.
a full mascot.
Oh, they'll have a dude my size, a big gentleman.
Yeah.
And wearing
In
the
that
big
outfit.
Eddie mask. Yeah. And whatever, Eddie changed over the years too.
Who named him Eddie?
Eddie
Where-
the Ed. Well, so originally it was just a head.
Yeah.
And somebody
they
started
called
to call him Eddie the Ed.
Okay.
With their charming
drop the
British
H.
accent.
Yeah. You drop an H with a copy,
Yeah.
I think.
And that's how it all started. But so then, in the first record, Eddie's just a head. The next record, Killers, he's got an axe in his hand and he's murdering somebody. And then this record, he's
been given a torso.
well, yeah, and he's kind of controlling Satan, who's controlling the other.
Okay.
Us. And then the record after that, he gets a lobotomy.
Ooh.
And he's in an insane
Wait,
asylum. That's
a skull
peace
has
of mind.
been given a lobotomy?
Yeah.
All right.
And then he doesn't have the hair anymore, which bummed me out because I
right.
loved long hair and I was starting to grow my long hair.
Right.
And then Eddie cut his hair.
That is devastating.
And then Power Slave is the Egyptian themed one. Stranger in a Strange Land is Heinlein, but
Yeah, it is. The moon is a harsh mistress.
Yeah. But the cover is more like Blade Runner-y, Western mixed
weird.
with
Like Westworld meets-
Eddie's part robot and part cowboy robot.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it had to be done as long as you're changing with it. All right. It's been an hour.
We did it.
I just want to say thanks for doing
I could do another
Oh, we'll have you back.
4 minutes on Iron
At
Maiden.
least another 4 minutes on Iron Maiden. Thank you so much for doing the show.
It was fun. It was really fun.
Everybody find Brian Posehn and
Listen
Rangers.
to Maiden.
Listen to Maiden, you guys. Find UFO and find out what they're all
seriously.
about.
There were so many other bands. But
So many other. There'll be another. And Rangers, take care of each other.
My hat, my hat, my hat. They're dancing around my hat. My hat, my hat, my hat. Well, what do you think of that? If it looks like a Mexican hat dance and it sounds like a Mexican hat dance, it's most likely a Mexican hat dance. So take off your hat and let's dance.
Yay! Oh my God. Why don't we just call that as the end of the show?